Hey, today for the Surfboard Guide, I'll be doing a review of the Christenson Cafe Racer. The Christenson Cafe Racer that I have is a stock 5.8, which is 5.8 by 19.75 by 2.5. And I'm not 100% sure of exact litres of volume, but I think it's around probably, from the feel of the board and other boards I've ridden, I'd say around 30 to 31 litres. So the Cafe Racer by Christenson is a really fun board to ride. It's a really kind of cruisy shape. And looking at it, it's not the kind of board I normally go for, but I got a real kink for Christenson's boards. I love almost everything he does, and I had to try one out. So I've been surfing this as kind of a thing in between my kind of groveler average boards and in between a performance shortboard. So in that kind of 2 to 3 foot range, when waves are little rip bowls and that, it's a bit of fun. And you want something that's a little bit different, you just want to cruise or whatever. So looking at the Cafe Racer, there is like this gentle rocker throughout the board. No part of the board has like a really kind of steep or aggressive rocker. It's just really gentle throughout the board, which transfers into a really easy to surf board that moves across water and moves and turns quite well. Flipping the board over, it has a massive V that runs down throughout the board. So about here, you have this massive V start and it goes through the board and out through the tail, and it actually feels like a bit of a jetpack. The thing moves so quickly. I'm not sure, I didn't want to go into it because there's nothing on his website about the bottoms and that, but it feels like a big V, and it feels like there almost might be a bit of a double concave that comes through and out the fins. But whatever it is, it moves water really efficiently through the board and out the tail, and it's a really, really quick board. And as you can see here, I've been riding as a quad setup. So I've been riding this board for a couple of months now, in a variety of conditions. It's kind of been my go-to board when I didn't want to ride like a grovelly little twinny or quad or whatever, and I didn't quite go to a performance shortboard. So when waves are in kind of the waist to chest to head high kind of region, and we also, where I live, we get kind of, and they're probably some of the funnest waves we get little rip bowls. So they might be like something that breaks out the back and they run through to shore and you're able to do a few turns. And this has been the thing that I've been wanting to get on, and it's been linking those really well. And you also get with some of those rip bowls and reforms, you'll get like where a wave will break and then you'll get a flat section to the next bit, and it just moves across that flat water really, really quickly. Something to do with the bottom, it just moves water really efficiently throughout the board. So yeah, I've been surfing out in the kind of 2 to 3 foot range, and it's done really well. I've had it when it's been a little bit bigger. So I thought this was kind of a small wave, kind of cruisy kind of shape, but I've actually surfed it when it's been a little bit bigger, on some rights and some lefts on my backhand. And this board has it's held its own. I wouldn't say it's a one board quiver, but it's not too far off that either. It handles pretty average, small kind of little rip bowls and shories quite well. When I've taken it out in kind of the 4 foot plus range, this has been a really good board to ride as well. It has a round tail, which makes turning and surfing quite easy. The rail releases, everything about the board, I mentioned the rocker earlier, through to the rail line, through to the fullness and the drop of the rail, and through to the shape of the tail, everything is just really gentle. And that transcribes into a really forgiving shape that just makes surfing really quite easy and a lot of fun. So on the Christenson Cafe Race, it was actually quite funny. I normally try out a lot of different fins, and I got the board on a weekend and I wasn't able to get my hands, I didn't have any quad fins, but I had these by Futures. These are the Danny Fuller quads. I actually had them sitting in the roof of my garage in a 7.8. I have a 7.0 and a 7.8, and there's 2 sets of these, and one was in each board. And the only quad set I had, so I was like, I don't know if they'll actually work, but I'm going to give them a go. And they were spot on. They felt really nice. They're not a large fin, but they're quite stiff, so it still has a lot of hold, but without being too large. I tried another quad set, the AM2 Tech Flexes, which I felt were a little bit big for this board. And I went straight back to these, and these just felt perfect. Sometimes I think you try something, and if it works and it's perfect, there's no need to go and change things and make it all different. I never rode it as a thruster. Speaking with the boys that do Christenson Australia up at Onboard, they were just saying quads a go. So I went straight to a quad, and again, you can't improve on perfect. So when things felt really nice, I didn't muck around with a thruster or anything. I feel like this is the kind of shape that you do want to put a quad in. Like I said, that water moves through the board really efficiently, and I think that kind of, it works really well with a quad setup like this. The Cafe Racer by Christenson, I think, is a board for almost anyone. It's a very forgiving board for someone who's maybe progressing their surfing to the next level. And I think someone that's maybe an intermediate to advanced surfer that wants something that really eats up rip bowls and kind of, they just want something that cruise. Like you have a young family, have a day down the beach, you just want one board that you know is going to be a handle all conditions when you pop out in the water. This is the board. So, and I also really like the retro kind of shape. Like I go through so many performance shortboards and whatnot, which I absolutely love, but it's nice to get on something a little bit different. And I feel when you surf on it, it kind of inspires you to surf a little bit differently. So it's been a lot of fun to ride. That's our review of the Cafe Racer by Christenson Surfboards. It's been a lot of fun to ride and hopefully you get a chance to check one out. Thanks for watching. Hey, thanks so much for watching today. If you like what you saw, it'd be greatly appreciated if you could hit like. If you want to see more of what we're doing, it'd be greatly appreciated if you could subscribe. Beyond what we're doing here on YouTube, we also have an Instagram account which we're keeping pretty active with. You'll find it on Instagram at the Surfboard Guide, and on there we'll be posting stuff about boards we have, immediate stuff about our experiences with them. We'll also have a chance to maybe connect with other people that have an experience with board that you may be interested in. Thanks so much for watching.